Welcome to ThinkTenq, Big Ideas, One Cup at a Time, a podcast series featuring quick coffee time chats with innovators and partners shaping the future. I'm Karla Micheli, and in each episode, we'll dive into fresh ideas, emerging trends, and practical insights that keep us and our partners ahead of the curve. At Enqbator, we believe in sparking meaningful conversations that showcase expertise, celebrate collaboration, and inspire innovation. Today, we're excited to be back with Diane Hammons, Director of Digital Engagement at WG Content, for part 2 of our Holiday AI series. With the holidays and end of the year right around the corner, we know everyone's eager to wrap things up. So today, we're talking about how employees and clients are using ChatGPT or their own custom GPTs to power through those end of the year to-dos and maybe even help ease some of that seasonal stress. Diane, welcome back. I'm excited to jump right in and learn more about how you are using ChatGPT and custom GPTs at WG Content to help with these end of the year to-do lists.
Yeah, Carla, thanks for having me back for part 2. I think it's a good topic for this time of year, especially because if you're like me, you're eager to wrap things up quickly and get to the good stuff. You're honestly a little distracted too. I mean, we talked about personalities last time. I have an aunt who loves to tell me how many more days there are until Christmas. I'm like, stop telling me, it just raises my stress level.
Exactly. I think when I was young, I would be excited. And as you get older, it really does. And those to-do lists don't get smaller, unfortunately, at the end of the year, they just get bigger.
They do not. But custom GPTs can help because that's exactly what they do is they help us with some of those to-do lists, especially the recurring type of to-dos. So what is a custom GPT? Well, it's a feature inside ChatGPT. So it's a tailored version of OpenAI's GPT model. So when you're in ChatGPT, there's GPT-4, GPT-5, that's a model. And so this feature gives you an opportunity to tailor that. So you give it instructions. They could be like, think of it almost like a really long, it can be a complex even prompt, and you give it specific sources. And then it will, you tell it what role you want it to serve. So it makes it kind of a very niche assistant. So
Gotcha.
I think of this like instead of having to prompt the same prompt like over and over and upload the same files over and over. If you find yourself doing that, it tells you it's time for a custom GPT because you can bake all of that in. And then when you do that, it's easier to get consistent results. You can even share it with other teammates so they can get consistent results, and it can help you scale then for more impact.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, you can even chain them together. So you
Oh,
can
interesting.
ask one to perform some roles, say maybe draft some content, and then you can call on another to maybe do a light content strategy review, and you can keep chaining them on down the line, just like you would if you
Oh,
had, I don't know, maybe a team of interns or something.
that's cool. Yeah. I've been meaning to dive into these custom GPTs. I've been hearing a lot about them, but didn't really have the time lately to fully explore them. So I'm excited to dive deep into this conversation today.
Yeah, it's not a new concept because it is very popular. You hear about it a lot.
Yep.
But until you actually get into well, I should say when you get into it, as
Yeah.
I'm sure
It's
you will
inevitable.
eventually. It's always a matter of time. But when you get into it, then you're going to be like, oh, where have these been all my life? Why did I wait so long?
Yes, I'm
And
sure.
I really don't think I'm overselling that. It comes from firsthand experience at WG Content. We have a family of GPTs, and they're all called Genie because she works magic for us.
That's cute.
you know, you name yours how you want to name them.
Yeah.
So we have
I love
Brand
it.
Genie. Brand Genie, she helps us quickly draft and review internal communications. I especially love that because I'm one of the few people on our team that's not a writer. So I can take agonizingly long to even just generate a good email. We were talking about overthinking it
Yeah.
last podcast. Yes, I can overthink it, but Genie helps me just get it out there. But I can also then ask questions because the knowledge, our brand guides are in the knowledge. I can also use it as a knowledge base and just ask 1F questions about our brand, like what are the hex colors, hex numbers of our secondary colors.
Oh,
Or I
that's
can ask
awesome.
it about writing styles if it's just like, oh, I forget, do we use an Oxford comma or not?
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice. And you don't have to go through for us. It's not like go to SharePoint, find where we save that, open it up, find
Yeah.
the page to find the answer.
Yeah. Even sometimes with Copilot, it can be daunting, even though it can search everything and that it's
Hmm.
not as easy as response as I would like it to be sometimes.
Exactly. Exactly. So we also have like an RFP Genie. That's what our brand and sales team uses to efficiently reply to RFPs. They can load it in and it'll give answers based on past RFPs that are in the knowledge base. These are good examples. This is how we like to respond. Now it can spit that out and help reduce that time. We have a process Genie. That is another one that, like a knowledge base, you can, if you're like, oh, I forget, how do I request time off? You know, you can ask questions, but then because it has everything there too, we've been recently looking at it at the end of the year is a good time to start thinking about improvements and maybe what worked, what didn't, what do you want to do fresh in 2026? So I've been working with Process Genie to say, evaluate our processes, where are there
Oh, that's
bottlenecks, what could
cool.
we improve, that type of thing.
Yep.
And then we also, like you said, when do you have time? That's sometimes part of it. It's just with everything, there's so much you can do, but who has time? So some of our clients, especially lately, have been leaning on us to build these for them. So we just recently built a landing page GPT for one of our clients, and it's going to help them look at 200 plus landing pages, re-optimize them, rewrite them, re-optimize them with AEO and GEO in mind. And they believe it's going to shave 2 weeks off a 6 week process for each landing page. So
Wow,
that's a
that's
big
significant.
gain, especially if you're trying to
Yes.
squeeze things in at the end of the year.
Yes. And how does that work? Do you create them, you just pull up ChatGPT and create it, and then you can easily share those custom GPTs with others? Are they out in the world for anyone to use? Like how does that kind of work? How is that set up?
Yeah, you do have to have a licensed paid subscription to ChatGPT to create them.
Got it.
That's what gives you uh, access to that feature. From there, it's really ChatGPT even offers um, a walkthrough where the model itself will help you walk through and build the build the custom GPT. So as far as complexity, we find the complexity comes in more in the just refinement, like, oh, it's still not quite giving me what I want, and then
What you want.
going back in and refining some of the language. But yeah, it's very achievable for everybody. Like I said, you just need that paid subscription. But then from that point, you own whoever creates it owns it. It lives the build lives in your account. But then you can share it with others, and you can choose to keep it private if you want. You can choose to make it public to all, and that will show up for even people who have free ChatGPT.
Oh,
Or you can
interesting.
choose to just share a link so that that way you can restrain it to say just your team members. So
Yeah,
only those with a link can access it. And then even if they have free version, it'll show up for them. They just
for
can't build
them.
it.
Yeah, makes sense. That's awesome. So are these custom GPTs only available on ChatGPT, or are there other LLMs that have similar, capabilities?
Hmm. Yeah, there are. If you are comfortable with the Microsoft environment, which, as I said before, many of our clients are, It's not even just a matter of comfort. Sometimes it's a matter of IT security and what the company
Yeah.
will allow them to do. Uh, Agents inside Copilot are the same thing. And the how-to is very, very similar. So take what I just said and apply it there. You're going to add instructions, you're going to add knowledge files, and it'll work the same way. So we've also built a couple of those for some of our clients who are restrained.
Yeah.
There's also, if you have a Google account, so you don't have, and it doesn't have to be a business Google account. It can be just your private Google account. You can also create gems inside Google. Same thing.
Oh. So they're just called a little bit different, but function the same
Hmm.
way. Yeah, that's
Exactly.
awesome. So, say we've been thinking a lot of how to stay connected with our clients,
Mhm.
more as a goal for 2026. And just, clients, partners, how do we stay more connected with them and in the loop? So, we've been talking about possibly a newsletter or some
Mhm.
other types of communication. How do you think a custom GPT would help us with that? So, if I go
Mhm.
back to our Copilot and start playing around with that would be helpful for something like this.
Yeah, absolutely. You can, and I'm just going to continue to speak ChatGPT, but just know that
Yeah.
similar feature sets are available in the others as well.
Yeah.
But um, part of that instruction is you're defining the role, and it can do and kind of what it is capable of. So let's say in your situation, it's a newsletter GPT, and you've said part of its role is to help generate topics. So it can you can give it some instruction to maybe go out, search the web, look for trending topics, things like that related to certain industries or certain companies, and that might give you some content ideas. Then another part of its role may be to actually help you draft content or draft an outline. So where you
Yep.
say, like, we want to cover these kind of topics, um, draft an outline or give me ideas for articles or something like that, some brainstorming. And then if you upload your brand guide, it can also literally draft the articles. And they can be formatted if you choose to put that much effort into your instructions and you give examples of what your preferred formatting is, where it can spit it out exactly. I want the headline should never be more than I don't know, 6 words, then always have an intro, then always, you can define how each of your articles should appear based on your standards. And then it can spit all those out as a first draft, a good first
Yeah.
draft. I mean, never without human involvement. I would
Yeah.
always,
I
always,
agree.
always, always,
Yes.
always, always have somebody look at it and do the fine tuning. But it can really do a good job helping you get it out faster.
Yeah. So it seems like there's a little more effort as always up front, but once you kind of get it
Mhm.
down, it could really help speed up some of those
Exactly.
tasks. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's that effort. Like I said, where sometimes some of our clients are like, we just don't even have time for that. Will you do it? But yeah, it is within your capability.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about how these custom GPTs can help with the holidays or ease some of those end of the year to-do lists or the
Yes.
stresses of all the holidays. Let's
Well,
tie it back.
yes, hopefully this is like another fun example. I know we had a little fun last week.
Too
I,
much fun.
I was thinking about, we're going back to my family and the cast of characters, but I was thinking about, gosh, sometimes it's just there's so much to think about. And I host the holidays, both Thanksgiving and Christmas. I host the holidays at my house, so I get
There's a
some
lot.
double some double stress coming my way when I think of what's ahead sometimes. So I created a GPT. I call it the Holiday Celebration Assistant.
That's great.
And it is very simply designed to be able to suggest menus, keeping in mind my family's, tastes, preferences, favorite foods, and any allergies, things like that. It can give some fun group conversation starters because I'm one of those who, even as much as I'm into technology, when it comes to the dinner table, I'm one of those that's like, can we put all all their phones in a basket. So,
Yes.
so like I was maybe some conversation starters. I also have our boss, Christy Pretzinger, the owner of WG Content. She is fantastic at getting a whole table talking. So I'm like, but I'm not. So I need that.
That's surprising.
Um, help me choose gifts, help me brainstorm gift ideas, or make a playlist to play in the background.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So that's kind of the instruction set and what it's capable of doing. But then for the knowledge then, um, I've uploaded profiles of each of my family members.
You did not.
I did.
That's
Like, what are their
amazing.
interests? What are
Yes.
their hobbies? What foods do they like? What foods do they hate? What music do they like? What's their style? What's their decor? All that. Yeah. And now my hope is this is going to make between now and December 25th manageable.
So how long did it take you to set this all up? I have to ask.
Not that long,
No?
really. The longest part is me thinking through all the profiles.
Yes. I
Because I'm
can see
trying to
that.
I've got like half added. I'd like to have like 12 or so. Well, maybe a little more than that once you add in all the kids.
Yeah.
But I did a little test run with like the 6 or so I have in there so far, and it was really fun to see how it recommended the menu and the playlist. It's an eclectic playlist, but it hits on everybody's interests, and I think I'm gonna
Try it.
put it together. In ChatGPT now too, you can mention the Spotify app, so you can even generate the playlist for real in Spotify right from ChatGPT. So
Oh, that's awesome.
I know, right?
I know what I'm going to do after this podcast is done.
I
I
know, and it
always
doesn't
say,
have to be
what
just
can I do to
yeah.
make the holidays less stressful? And every year, no matter how much I try, it doesn't really work. So maybe this is. I never thought about using AI to this
Mhm.
extent to help with it all.
Well, I can put I can give you the instructions and the template for the profile of each family member or guest. And yeah, if you want to include them in
Yeah.
the show notes or something, feel free.
Yes, I
It's
will
fun.
definitely do that. I think that'll be a great thing to share with others and a great way if someone hasn't played with custom GPTs to just have a nice quick intro into it that's
Yes.
not too stressful, depending
Right.
on some big company project that might not work the way you want to
Yeah.
immediately.
Low risk.
Exactly, exactly. So,
I love when sometimes it summarizes at the end to kind of validate, like, okay, you asked me for this, and this is why my answer fits the bill. And so it says why this menu works. It's casual and self-serve, buffet style, easy to carry on plates, flexible spice levels, because some
oh,
people like
nice.
mild, classic comfort foods for every age group. It's avoid triggers. There are no olives, no unusual vegetables, and no white wine.
See, I'd prompt mine different because I love olives, but
I know, I do too, but there are some people who don't.
oh,
So,
definitely. That's one of those foods that either people love or hate.
yeah, but I'm going to tell you, my dinner table's still going to have olives.
So is mine.
It, it's a cozy atmosphere and it still offers enough variety. So, anyways,
I
it
love it.
still offers enough variety for my partner's adventurous taste. It's just so great.
It is great. This is a great idea. Well, thanks for sharing a little like tidbit of your custom GPT. That was a
Yes.
fun way to end it and definitely tie into the holiday season. But I think that brings us to the end of our part 2 of today's episode. But we definitely look forward to having you back on the show in the future to dig into more into AI. So we look forward to that in 2026. So thank you again for joining us and sharing all these fun insights, especially around the holiday season and tying those all back together. It was definitely a fun way to learn more about AI.
Well,
And
thank
thanks for
you.
everyone.
Yeah, thank you so much. I look forward to going deeper in 2026, but this has been fun.
Yes, this is fun for the holidays, but we are definitely looking forward to like getting our feet more wet and digging in. Because there's so much. And by that time it's all gonna change, right?
I
Again.
know. Scrap everything I said 2 months ago. So
Exactly.
I hope it's not that bad.
Yes, exactly. never know, but that's what it feels like. But thank you. Thank you for joining us again. And thank you to everyone listening. So whether you're experimenting with AI or are already using custom GPTs to streamline your work, we hope this series gave you some practical ideas to take into the new year. And if you enjoyed this conversation, please be sure to share it with your colleagues and your networks. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and happy holidays.